All right, let's make some delicious cinnamon rolls. These are our favorite. We make them every Christmas for breakfast and match them up with our own organic bacon. They're delicious. So let's get started. So the night before, I mixed up all the dough. And right here you're seeing is me doing the final touches of the frosting, but I'm going to track it back and show you what happened. So I mixed up the dough the night before. Now I'm mixing the baking powder and baking soda. I like to mix them in a separate thing, get them all mixed up nice and easy. Then I'm going to sprinkle it over the dough that was fermented all night long. And then we're going to just go ahead and just really squish it in there and mix it all up and get that all nice incorporated. It feels funny and I mean, a little bit sticks to your hand, but that's okay. You'll be all right. And you'll notice that I'm moving very fast because this is actually sped up by twice, just so you didn't have to sit there and watch me squeeze the dough forever. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some flour on the counter, and we're going to dump that out on the counter, and we're going to flour my hands a couple times. We're going to pat it out into a nice rectangle. You can do any size depending on what you want. Typically, I think it's 12 by 22. I don't really measure, but so it doesn't really matter, but you'll see a nice good rectangle that gets patted out. Look at how fast I pat those hands, huh? Yeah, and see how I'm squaring up the edges just so it gets those those last little edge pieces that are, the same size as the middle pieces. So I'm just kind of using my hand to edge it up. I'm also trying to make sure that's not sticking too much to the floor, or not the floor, gosh. I'd eat it off the floor, they're so good, but off the counter. So we're going ahead, it's almost done. We're going to square it up a little bit. And then in the meantime, I melted the butter right in my cast iron pan that I'm going to be baking them in. So I'm going to smear that melted butter all over the place. Yeah, I got to pour it, make it quicker, right? Get it all over there. And then I've mixed up the brown sugar. The brown sugar and the cinnamon, and then we're going to sprinkle that all over the butter right there. And I left some in the pan as well so that they can kind of rise in the nice cast iron pan. I use that cast iron pan for all my rolls, honey butter rolls, these cinnamon rolls. It just does such a great job. So there we go. We mixed up that stuff, the cinnamon and brown sugar. I'm going to put it all over. And then while I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to go get floss. Yes, I'm going to use floss to cut the cinnamon rolls, which makes it extremely easy. So right before that, we're going to go ahead and tightly roll it. It's really easier than, it's actually easier than what you think. So we're rolling super fast. And we're just going to make sure those edges get really pinched down. You can kind of smush it and stuff like that. See me patting up the edges just so that all the pieces are going to be cut the same. There's my floss, and you're just going to simply place it underneath, cross it over. Boom. You're going to go ahead and put it right in that buttered pan, and you're going to go and do the rest of the rolls. You can do it whatever size you want. Mine are about 1.5 inches or so. It's really easy. You just take that floss and put it underneath and cross it over, and it just pinches it right off. It's awesome. It's better than using a bench scraper or anything like that, because that would kind of smush down your edges when you're cutting into it. So this keeps it nice and light and fluffy and good to go. So we're going to finish up the roll and get those in the pan all nice and even and let them rise for, about an hour or so. They don't really typically do that much rising in the pan. They kind of do that when they get in the oven. They do a lot more. They'll fill up the whole thing because you added that baking soda and that baking powder that starts to interact with the semi-liquid of the dough. And then they'll help make it rise up. So we're going to get them to rise for an hour. Then we're going to put them in the oven. And then we're going to take them out and slather it with some delicious frosting.